welcome back to Dinner and Sugar. Today in front of me you see these chicken thighs, and I am holding some full-fat buttermilk because we are going to have chicken and waffles. We're going to start by making our marinade, and I'm just going to pour some of this full-fat buttermilk into this bowl, maybe about a cup and a half. And to that I'm going to add some seasoned salt and a healthy dose of our family's favorite hot sauce. So I'm doing this first because my hands will be dirty after I trim the chicken. So let's just do this. So this is probably a good quarter cup of hot sauce. And how about a little garlic powder? And I'm just gonna give this a stir.
This is what I hear in my house. Can you make fried chicken? Can you make fried chicken? Yeah, and guess what? I do all of the work and I stand over the grease and it pops me, and then there's 2 batches of chicken and there's 1 pan. And honestly, I have really just lost my patience for fried chicken. So this is a great alternative if you have lost your love for deep frying. Later on, I'm going to show you my key to keeping this chicken crispy.
Okay, our chicken is now trimmed of all the extra fat. Now I'm gonna take my scissors and I'm just gonna cut around the bone a little bit. And this is just gonna allow some extra flavor to get into the chicken because I really like a nice and well-seasoned chicken.
Here's a close-up of what I was doing. I just took my scissors and I cut on one side of the bone. And if you don't have scissors, you can just use a knife to free up the bone a little bit.
So just free up the bone a little bit. And it's also gonna help it cook a little bit faster also.
I know we already put hot sauce into our marinade, but I decided to do this one day and it really worked. I put the hot sauce directly onto the chicken and I massaged it in, and I found that it really just got into the chicken in a different way and it just enhanced it. So I recommend that you can do both.
Today I'm gonna give you a tip from my favorite cuisine, which is the Indian cuisine. And when they do a tandoori chicken, they make a slit all the way to the bone. And this is gonna let our marinade really get into the chicken and also let it get a little bit crispier because now some of the moisture has like a chance to escape from the top. So just make like a little slit all the way down to the bone in the top of the chicken. And whenever I roast chicken, this is definitely what I do.
There's someone in my house who doesn't like bones in their chicken, so this is me just deboning a thigh. I just take my knife and I go on each side of the bone, and then I'm going to do a little scrape down, and you just want to keep running the knife along the bone trying to free it up. And then eventually I'm going to take that knife and put it underneath the bone and kind of free up both ends. So there goes one end, and then I will do the other end, and then there is a nice boneless thigh, which is great for fried chicken, and it really did not take that long.
So we just want to get these in there. Make sure we get both sides, get down into that slit on top. Okay, here is our chicken thighs. They are resting in this marinade for a couple of hours. And you don't have to let it rest. You can use this straight away, but I like to give it a couple of hours or even overnight. So just cover this with plastic wrap and let it rest in your fridge. And next we are going to make our dredge for our chicken. And the first thing I'm gonna put in is a half a cup of cornstarch, and to that, a half cup of rice flour. And then this is 3/4 cup of just plain regular flour. We are also going to put a 1/4 teaspoon of baking powder. And next we have some poultry seasoning, a good teaspoon, teaspoon and a half. And this is some garlic powder. This is some onion powder. And this is some seasoned salt. Don't make it too salty because we've already added some layers of salt. And a little bit of paprika for color. So the reason why I put the 3 flours in is because they do 3 different things. White flour is my base, and corn.
I found that plain wheat flour makes my fried chicken or oven fried chicken too dark, so I end up using a lot of cornstarch in there. And the cornstarch makes it crispy and just lets it be a nice and golden color.
Rice flour just gives it a really nice texture.
If I had to name this chicken, I would actually call it Parchment fried chicken. So here's my stainless steel sheet pan, and on top is a piece of parchment paper, and then I just drizzled some oil over top, just some tablespoons. I'm not covering the whole sheet pan, but just you kind of see the oil is like kind of in like a swirly little thing. So the parchment is really key. It's going to keep the chicken crispy on the bottom. If you did not use parchment paper and just used a pan, it would be a big sticky mess and you would not be happy cleaning that pan. Foil did not fare much better, but parchment paper was really the best option. To dredge the chicken, you just want to put your chicken in and kind of put flour on top of it, and then I really take the dredge and I put it on top and really press it in so that when I take it out, there's no wet spots left behind. The chicken is almost ready to go into the oven, but first just a little drizzle of oil on top for moisture. Our chicken's about halfway done, and now we're going to make the waffles. So into the sifter are my dry ingredients. That is my flour, baking soda, salt, baking powder, and sugar. For these buttermilk waffles, we're going to use more of that full-fat buttermilk. In my measuring cup, I already had a little bit of whole milk too because the buttermilk can be a little bit too thick. Next, we are going to separate these eggs so that we can whip up the egg whites so that these can be the fluffiest waffles you've ever had. This is a close-up of our chicken. It's nearly done. You see it has a really nice golden color. And now I'm going to give you an option. First, you're going to see me kind of tilt the pan, and I'm just going to baste the chicken to get rid of any kind of little floury spots that are left with some of like the excess oil in the pan. You can also take your chicken and you can flip it over. So both ways are going to work just fine. It's just a matter of preference.